All right, what's up, guys? Quickly, we got some information, some bad news. If you guys are looking for a fight come August with Jake Paul, Hasim Rahman Jr., it's not happening. But let's clear the air because there's some lies going around, and these lies are coming from Jake Paul. Jake Paul is saying that, oh yeah, it's because Rahman can't get down in weight, and that's actually not the case.
Not going to sit up here and be happy or gloat that their fight fell out. I mean, both those guys, I'm sure, put in a lot of hard work and a lot of training to get ready for this fight, spent money to get ready for this fight. But I will say this. Just because you were an accountant here doesn't mean you know what the fuck goes on here. And doesn't mean that you can run a fight promotion company. You know, I think that Jake Paul probably needs to get some different people around him. If he's going to stay in the sport, he needs to be with guys that actually really know how to put on fights.
What did you make of the whole his opponent was too big and
I think they sold under $1 million in tickets and it cost $500,000 to turn the fucking lights on at MSG. That's what I think. Oh, not to mention the fact that hotel rooms in New York and transportation and everything else is very expensive.
Let me go ahead and kill all this internet cat Jake Paul got going on for y'all. Look, I'm a bridgerweight. I campaign at bridgerweight, or otherwise known as heavyweight outside of the WBC. Now look, I signed a contract to make 200 pounds within the 3.5 weeks that I had to do it, but I couldn't do it. My body simply would not let me do it, would not let me get down to 200 pounds. But where in boxing do y'all see them canceling fights a whole week in advance? I didn't even get my last week to get down as low as I could. I told this man, it's penalties involved. Keep the purse. Keep the purse. I fight you for the $5,000 minimum. That's how much it means to me, and that's how much faith I have in knocking him out. I would have beat this man with one hand, just like I did in the gym. But let him tell it. He already beat my ass in the gym when I was 230. So if you beat me up while I was 230, what's the problem in fighting me while I'm 215? What's the problem fighting me at 210? It's clearly them not wanting to fight. It's not me pulling out the fight. It's them not wanting to fight. I never said that I didn't want this fight. And the only thing that I can conclude is that they scared. I mean, they tried to drain me down. I told them, look, I ain't gonna be able to get all the way down to cruiserweight. I mean, it was a astronomical feat in and of itself from the beginning. From the beginning, when they called me to spar him for Anderson Silva, I told them what my weight was. They knew what my weight was, and they knew I was gonna have to lose about a pound a day for 30 days in order to make 200 pounds. Now, with all that aside, still, if I wasn't able to make the weight, they knew that we had a replacement on the side the whole time. He's been doing everything I've been doing this whole camp. The Muslim boxer, Muslim Kason, who campaigns at cruiserweight, who wouldn't have to have drained himself, who could have saved the show. And Jake Paul could have fought a real boxer, but he don't want to fight a real fighter. He don't want to fight a real fight. He wanted to drain me down and fight a fighter. He don't want to fight a real fight. He wanted to drain me down and fight a shell of me, which I'm not going to allow him to do. Now, they didn't move the goalposts and move the finish line closer and have me weigh in all these extra days early and then pull a plug on the fight like we don't want to fight. My team's 100% still wanted to fight, still ready, willing, and able to knock out Jake Paul on August 6th. So y'all blame your boy Jake Paul for this fight not happening. It ain't had nothing to do with me or my team. We let them know what the real was, and Jake Paul scared to make the fight. All he got to do is say, okay, I beat you up at 230, I beat you up at 215. I'm still coming down in weight, or I beat you up at 210. I'm still coming down in weight, but he don't want to do it because he don't want a real competitive fight. He wanted me to be a shell of myself when we got in there.
So I start with the truth, but let's start off with the snake salesman, Jake Paul. Sad to say, I was actually having some, I was looking forward to seeing the rise of Jake Paul. I was actually starting to like slide towards the side a little bit now because, like, you see his brother is doing great. Logan Paul has made his way, and now he just comes off of a phenomenal SummerSlam. Logan Paul is about to make headlines throughout this entire week from his performance at SummerSlam. But now we hear that Jake Paul, snake salesman, Jake Paul, sold you guys snake oil, and now there's a whole bunch of ticket sales that has to be dealt with. Dana White came out with the truth about what's going on with this fight, and this is important.
I'm not going to sit up here and be happy or gloat that their fight fell out. I mean, both those guys, I'm sure, put in a lot of hard work and a lot of training to get ready for this fight, spent money to get ready for this fight. But I will say this. Just because you were an accountant here doesn't mean you know what the fuck goes on here. And doesn't mean that you can run a fight promotion company. You know, I think that Jake Paul probably needs to get some different people around him. If he's going to stay in the sport, he needs to be with guys that actually really know how to put on fights.
So you see what Dana White says about this fight, right? And now you see what Jake Paul, the snake salesman, says about this fight, right? And now you see Rockman, he's sitting here and he's just getting bullshitted by the snake salesman, by their team. Dana White is showing you that his team, Jake Paul's team, he needs to get better people on his team. So this is a very, very bad blemish to Jake Paul. And in the light of his brother just doing phenomenal things, Hasim Rahman Jr., I wish you well. And now you got the limelight that you needed because, look, you look like Johnny Depp right now. You're the innocent victim. And what they doing to you, man, is not right. So that's fight news. I guess at this point in time, you could say probably Jake Paul should fight KSI. Personally, I think KSI doesn't want any anymore because before I was on KSI's side, like, yo, he could do it. I'm waiting for Holmes to fight Jake Paul. All I'm hearing is excuses, and I don't really fuck with it. So before I'm a huge KSI fan, feel me? But I want to see less excuses about this boxing Jake Paul shit. He was saying, yeah, he's doing this music, and he's doing Prime, and then he's putting all of these hats, all of these business hats. Now he's putting on this business hat back on boxing. All right, then, cool. Put your business hat back on boxing. I want to see this Jake Paul fight. I do. Because I don't want you out here looking like a bitch, bro, because you said before you could fight him, you wanted to fight all of them. Jake Paul did his thing, and now Jake Paul is looking kind of fiery in the ring, even though he may be a snake salesman. He's a YouTube boxer, and he doesn't want anything with a professional boxer, right? KSI, you're a professional boxer, right? But Jake Paul wants you. Let's make this fight happen. I don't even know. He fighting Alex Wasabi. Yo, if Alex Wasabi takes you, KSI, I mean, I want to see this Jake Paul fight. Deji is fighting Fousey, and that might just, I don't even want to see that match, honestly. They should put that match free because just seeing the guys talk, like Deji has nothing and there's no win to his sales.
But you're looking at him and underestimating him still, even though these, as he said, politically correct answers are coming out. He still thinks there's a bit of that in you. What's your response?
I mean, he's allowed to think what he wants. That's fine. Like I said, I'm just here to fight.
What do you have to change from this camp to this fight to not only secure this victory, but do so going away?
I'm not going to reveal too much. You'll just find out in the night.
And how do you prepare for that kind of talk? Power coming, unlimited cardio on his end from the body transformation. What are you doing to prepare for that?
Sparring. That's the best I can do, really. Just keep sparring.
Understandable. Aggressively, and like I said, capitalize on maybe you being a little too defensive.
I mean, he can do what he wants, really. Like I said, I'm just here to fight.
Fair play.
Show what I can do.
Expecting from this environment, do you think the pressure building in this fight specifically is going to crack a guy like Deji? Is it going to uplift you? What are you expecting from that fandom?
All those other fights, I'll be honest, I wasn't fighting for myself. I'm fighting for myself now, so I've handled the crowd
Dude, I
before.
think I hate his face. It's just like a deflated fucking balloon. Like he's just like, oh, I'm just happy to fight. Oh yeah, I give you all of the kudos, Fousey. Like before I was talking shit about you, now I don't want to talk any shit about you. I don't want any. I hope we just have a great time. I hope we have a great time in a ring. This is going to be fun. The fuck are you talking about? And it's just disappointing. It's like, what the fuck is going on? It's actually starting to feel like, I don't know, lesser of a YouTube boxing and more of like it's a circus act. Like, and one last thing, speaking on the topic of KSI, I saw something and I need to put it in there because something seems kind of fishy to me. So KSI doesn't want to fight Jake Paul, as it seems to me, right? Jake Paul just canceled his fight with Rahman Jr., right? Fousey is fighting Deji, right? Now, and KSI is fighting Alex Wasabi. Now, what doesn't make sense now, right? Because out of nowhere, this is like, oh, I'm fighting for my bro. You beat my brother up, so I'm going to fight you, right? Something sus as hell. It's sus as hell because it seems like KSI isn't fighting the person we should be fighting, let alone not even just Jake Paul. Maybe KSI should be fighting Fousey right now because KSI is fighting Alex Wasabi, who Fousey beat up.
Stay there. Relax, that's it. Stay there. Relax. No, that's it, bro. That's it.
It's strong.
Yeah.
So Alex Wasabi is just a punching bag out of this all. So like Fousey beats up Alex Wasabi, and now Fousey claims that this is his first fight, right? This is gonna be his first fight. Fousey beats up Alex Wasabi, and now it's KSI's turn to beat up Alex Wasabi, when Alex Wasabi isn't a boxer at all. So maybe KSI should be fighting Fousey, so KSI can then go and fight Jake Paul. That makes more sense to me. Something sus. And again, I'm a fan of KSI, but something sus. Creator Clash was cool. Creator Clash was cool. Let's see if KSI's boxing event is going to be better than Creator Clash. Because I still remember Dad whooping this motherfucker. Dad was just pop, pop, wind up, bing. So, we'll see what happens. But until then, that's been Fight News. I'll see you guys later.